when a thing or a person is set apart to Yahweh, that thing or that person shall remain set apart and never be considered common again, even when reduced to ashes. This Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of the Torah portion, Tzav. Let's continue, if we can, in the book of Vayikra, Leviticus, chapter number 6. And let's begin reading again with verse number 9. Command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the Torah, the ascending offering. This is the Olah offering. And it's referencing the version of the Olah offering that is offered daily, 9 a.m., 3 p.m., every day, even Shabbat, even Yom Kippur. A lamb is laid on the altar in the morning and then a second one in the afternoon. The ashes of the one at the 3 p.m. offering is to be gathered, and that's what we're getting ready to read here. This is the ascending offering because it burned on the slaughter place all night until morning, and the fire of the slaughter place is kept burning on it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and put his linen trousers on his body, and shall take up the ashes of the ascending offering which the fire is consumed on the slaughter place, and shall put them beside the slaughter place. He shall take off his garments, put on other garments, and shall bring the ashes, outside the camp to a clean place. And then notice verse 12 and 13. The fire on the slaughter place is kept burning on it. It is not put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and arrange the ascending offering on it, and shall burn on it the fat of the peace offerings. And again, it's reiterated in verse 13. Fire is kept continually burning on the slaughter place. It is not put out. More on the continual fire in a moment. So we have 3 places here that are considered set apart. There's the top of the altar where the offering is laid. This is a set apart place. No common meat, no common anything is laid there. Only that which has been dedicated, consecrated, and set apart for the purpose of an offering unto Yah. The animal that was simply feeding in the field the day before or being examined for imperfections has been brought, has been processed, its blood's been collected, it's been properly skinned and cleaned and laid upon the altar, and it goes up and smoked to Yah as an ascending offering, and the soul of the presenter goes up with it, an elevation, an ascending to Yah. So the top of the altar, where the fire consumes it, is set apart. At 3 p.m. the previous day, a lamb was presented and laid upon the altar in behalf of all of Israel, and it has been burned completely, fully, and absolutely reduced to ashes. The next morning, before anything else is taken care of, the man in his priestly garments comes and collects those ashes with a shovel and lays them beside the altar. So the altar side, the proximity of the altar is set apart. Because that which is set apart, the reduction to ashes, even the ashes, the remnant of that which was offered is set apart, and it's laid in a set apart place beside the altar. He changes his garments, where he's going to now go outside the temple environment, recollects those ashes and takes them to a specific clean place, so declared, outside the temple area. And there, these set apart ashes are treated with honor and respect and disposed of properly. So the altar, beside the altar, and a clean place outside the temple is all considered to be set apart. No longer common. As I think about this particular command, I think there's more going on for us here than ashes. We can also consider mankind and his living. There is the ability for one to have oil poured over them, and they be consecrated, dedicated to Yah, and declared set apart. And again, that individual then cannot return to just mere common existence. Case in point, we have King Shemu'el of Israel. Excuse me. King Shemu'el, King Saul, was one that was anointed, had oil poured over his head, and declared sovereign of Israel. He operated under a great anointing for a period of time. He began to make some very foolish decisions. In 1 Samuel chapter number 13, there is an impending battle with the Philistines. Offerings need to be made before the battle begins. The prophet Shemu'el is delayed or seems to be tarrying. He's late for an appointed moment. Shaul grows impatient. He begins to panic, and he says, "Bring me the offerings, and I will offer them," assuming the role of a priest that he was not afforded. He was anointed to be king, but not a priest. Supposing his kingly authority granted him that such privilege, he then made the offerings, and when Shemu'el showed up, he said, "You have done foolishly." And he says to him in verse 13, "You have been foolish. You have not guarded the command of Yahweh your Elohim, which is commanding you. For now Yahweh would have established your reign over Israel forever. But now your reign is not going to stand. Yahweh shall seek for himself a man after his own heart. Yahweh shall command him to be leader over his people, because you have not guarded what Yahweh has commanded." This is further exemplified in chapter number 15, where Yah has spoken to Shaul and said to him to go and destroy the Amalekites and King Agag. And there he was not to take any plunder, but to put everything and everyone under the ban. He did not listen. He took the best of the land, he said, to bring back as an offering to Yah. So in 15 verse 22, we have that famous verse that to obey is better than to sacrifice. And he says that, well, I did the work of Yah. I did what I was supposed to do. Verse 28, Samuel said to him, "Yah has torn the reign of Israel from you today and has given it to a neighbor of yours that is better than you." With this, we understand then that David is to be the next king. When David had an opportunity to take Shaul's life, he went instead and he just cut off a piece of his garment. Perhaps he took off the seat off the corner of Shaul's kingly garment. And it says that it's in chapter 24 and verse 5, it came to be afterward that the heart of David struck him because he had cut the robe of Shaul. And he said to his men, "Far be it from me that by Yahweh that I should do this matter to my master, anointed of Yahweh, to stretch out my hand against him, for he is the anointed of Yahweh." Wait a minute, David, the anointing has left him. The call of Yah is no longer upon his life. The kingdom has been torn from him and is being given to you. What are you talking about, the anointing? David recognizes that the man upon whom oil has been poured, the man who has been set apart to Yah, can no longer be considered common, even if he acts in a common way, even if he walks in failure in the eyes of Yah. He cannot return to common status. There is still this indication of set-apartness that is upon him. And David is recognizing the significance, the constancy, the continuation of set-apart status. Just as the ashes of the olah that have been collected, even the ashes are set apart. There are those who have walked under the anointing of Yah and been used strategically and powerfully in the past. And they have fallen. They have failed. They have made some foolish decisions. And it would seem that what they were able to accomplish at one time, they no longer can. And that's in many camps. We could list a name or 2 or 10. Do not join in with those who ridicule and slander and consider a scandal of these people. Be like David and remember even the ashes of their memory and what they have done in the past is still set apart. May I help all of us that we remain set apart. We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.